Hello, and welcome to episode 11 of Baking Bread.li. And I'm going to confess about episode 10 that I was a bit of an idiot. And I didn't really know what gems were, apparently. I kind of knew how to use them and put them in, but I didn't really know how they actually worked, which is very stupid of me. So I'm sorry if I led you on and tried to explain them in the previous video and just didn't do it quite right. I thought that when you installed gems and you used bundler and things like that, well, if you just use gems in general, they installed them on your machine and then you had access to them like an application in the background. And that was partly true, but it didn't mean that your .scss file is just going to pluck it out of your computer's thin air and just bring it in. That might be different for a Rails application, like a full Ruby project. But if you're doing a site and you need mixins and things like that, you actually need the files there. So I was a bit stupid. And what I did was I installed these like gems, didn't install bitters, and I installed them in Bourbon, and then I ran the SAS command with these includes in here, and it didn't work. And I was pulling it in, I was going, why isn't it working? Why is it not picking up the files from the magic ether of the back of my computer? And that was rubbish. It wasn't accessing it. It was just going, nah, you're not doing it right, Dave. You need to put the files in there. And that's why things like Bourbon come with commands like Bourbon install. Was it? No, Bourbon install here. And then it clicked and it made more sense to me. And for the package manager people out there who know a bit more than I do, maybe on NPM and things, as far like if you can correct me on this, and I would try and explain this as best as I can see it, is that they are all the same. They all do pretty much the same thing, and they just do it from different basis. Like NPM is Node, obviously, with JavaScript, and it does it one way. And then there's Gems that does it with Ruby code, and that does it in a different way. But both of them allow you to pull in projects from GitHub and whatever repositories and locations, and you just drop them into your project, and that is it. So especially in this kind of terms of this site where it's just a front-facing website and all the assets just need to be dropped in, and then you leave it and then you edit them or do whatever with them, but to maintain them you don't touch them. And it's the same for both formats. I know a little bit more about NPM and Bower and Gulp. I seem to have kind of picked that up. I picked it up fairly quickly, and from what I could tell, if you're using NPM to bring in packages to move stuff around, you're using NPM to bring in Bower and Gulp, and they take things and move things around, and then concurrently you then use it to get a JavaScript library or something like that, and you use the combination of the two, maybe another third one and things like that, to shift the files around, as well as, and that includes pulling them down. And then on the other side, you have gem files, and bundler is like it's like Bower. It's funny how it's kind of the similar name, and all that does is it means that you can use gems to pull them in and then use them independently. So the difference is things like Bourbon come with all their own commands, like self-contained. So when you pull down a package, it's got its own commands that can install it and put them in the right location. I'm not sure if this is the same for all gems, but assets like this, they have their own commands. Whereas like a jQuery library that you bring in using Bower, it's dumb. It doesn't know anything. All it does know is it knows what the main file is. And that's when you use Bower and Gulp to then move it around. So you need a lot more kind of independent assets to JavaScript package management. And you can be a lot more specific and a lot more like you can be as complicated or as little, as least complicated as you like, and it just means that the technique you use is a little bit kind of like, oh, there's lots of bits going on, you're using bits of JavaScript and writing it in funny ways with like gulp and stuff. And then in gems, a lot of it seems to be kind of magically like hidden away. And as long as you do the files in that way, then you're fine. And if you want to do anything complex, you're like, well, you are going to have a hard time. You're going to have to like break it down more or something like that. That sort of seems to be the kind of two perspectives of it. But in the end, they all do the same thing from what I've seen. And they just bring stuff in and put them in. And they both have updating techniques, and they both have installation techniques and versioning and things like that. So they seem to be similar, but you can just do different commands with them. And so, yes, with that knowledge this morning, I then allowed it to click in my brain and installed Bourbon correctly. So what I did was I used Bundler, which is what Bundler uses these to install all the packages that are needed for this project, and one of them is GitHub Pages. So that contains Jekyll and all the other aspects of it, so we know we can simulate a GitHub Pages website powered by Jekyll. So that's one of the few things that doesn't like actually physically have a project folder and you drop it in as a component. It's like it's a process, and it's a kind of got its commands that it will do to your site. And then we've got Bourbon, Neat, and Bitters, which are brought in as assets. So once they're installed on the machine can now then take them from one place and put them into the other. And that's what I did. I used all of these had installation processes, and they all installed into here. And I did change the SCSS folder back into SAS. And this was because I did have the SAS file in here, or the SCSS file in here, and was calling it SCSS, and then I was using SAS to then process it, but it was almost like a conflict of interest between Jekyll and SAS. It was like, oh, we're using different versions now, and I want to process SAS in this way. Oh no, I want to process SAS in this way, and it just collided, and it all went wrong, and I couldn't pick out what was right and what was wrong. So I switched it back to like the traditional way of what Jekyll was expecting. So the regular underscore SAS directory, so SASS, and then had a CSS folder or a CSS directory with styles.scss. And that's what this file is. And this file is then pulling in Bourbon, Neat, and the Bitters directory, which is actually called base. It's just like base CSS. So that is what Bitters is called in the project folder. And it worked. It worked, but it didn't like it. And I will show you in here in the command line. If I do Jekyll, oh dear. If I do Jekyll serve, just serve, or I use the watch parameter as well. So we're doing like a regular Jekyll site. and you run this command, it kind of thinks about it a bit, and then it runs with all these errors going on. And it's like all this Ruby stuff saying, or RB environment, like version lib Ruby gems Jekyll 253. What is going on? It's and that's the latest version of Jekyll 2.5.3, and it was going, that's not right. That's not quite right. And I did a little bit of like checking up at work at my lunch, just going through the documentation, and then I thought about it and went, hang on, we're not using Jekyll, we're using GitHub Pages. Maybe there is kind of contextual difference. And lo and behold, I'd been looking at the page almost the whole time, and this was the page, and it says running Jekyll, and it says, to run Jekyll in a way that matches the GitHub Pages build server, run Jekyll with bundler. So that's what I'm doing. So this is me. Use the command bundle exec, which I maybe exec, maybe that's execution. That's executing Jekyll. So it's bundle exec serve. So that's like running it in a different way. And it says run it in the root of your repository after switching to the GitHub Pages branch. But we don't need to do that because the master one is our development one, and that should like be what GitHub Pages is going to be. And so that was it. So let's go. So I put this in watch as well. We put that parameter on it. Perfect. You see, look, it's running the normal commands like it was before. Almost exactly like it was before. So it's almost like because of the gem file, and because we're doing it more like what GitHub Pages is doing it, we have to run the bundle variation of it and then run the site. And if I just take this out, because I had a body style just to like make sure everything was working. So if we go to our local host, so localhost 4000, and you'll see, look, the font's changed. The font has changed. And that means that the bitters stuff is coming in. And if I put this in, and we're going to go yellow, yellow and blue for craziness. And there we go, instantaneously. And that means it's working, and that means Bourbon is working. And, you know, we can take this a step further. We can test neat as well. I'm going to do this now so I can make sure it actually works. And so let's take this out and do @include container. So maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe we should do that on an actual container. And then I guess we're going to need to make sure that our default template's got a container. So let's quickly do div class container. Close it, put our content inside of it so we can actually see it going. Oh, no, that's the live one. Yes, there we go. It's in a container. It's in a container of some kind, and what that container is max width 68 EM. Okay, this is going to be pretty wild calculations, but I'm excited. That's exciting stuff. Yes. So it works. It actually does stuff. So let's rewind this so we don't have these in the commit changes. And we shall also do this. Get rid of that. And yes, and so we've got everything installed with that. And our JavaScript is still being managed with Bower and NPM. Well, NPM installed it, the same as Ruby installed gems, sort of. So yeah, it's just two applications on your machine, Ruby and npm. You've used these two things together and got all the assets you need. And if we want to update stuff, we just use one or the other. So we don't need them. That's why they're ignored. Well, there you go. That is it. I'm just going to take a sip of my tea. And when I say sip, I mean a glug because it's going cold. Yes. So anyway, we need to commit these changes. So let's bring up the command line a bit. I'll do a clear, get a nice clean window. Ooh, there we go. Help Mac OS X out. Git status. So we've done it again. We've deleted our directory and then recreated it. So let's do git diff on gem file. So what we've done is we've removed Jekyll and Sass and added GitHub pages and bitters. Okay, so cool. So let's do git commit gem file and gem. I wonder if it recognizes that I've already committed. No, it doesn't. It just remembers that. And we removes Jekyll and Sass gems, adds GitHub pages and bitters gems. Cool. Git status. Oh wait. We need to refer to our issue. We need to refer to hash 15 with our checklist. You see that there? Checklist. And then I put a comment here. This is me going on a tangent again. Gem file is just a packages listing. I only need the following in it: Bourbon, Neat, and Pages. Well, we said that. We actually did add in bitters as well. This is Bow as the other packages listing. I only need the following in it: HTML5 shiv. Ruby manages bundler, which manages gems. Node package manager, or npm, manages Bower and Gulp. And they can currently manage all the files. They plonk all the files and packages in certain locations in some way or another. Done. If I'd found a HTML5 shiv gem that worked with my workflow, I know there's a Rails one, but that's a Rails one, and I don't want a Rails one. I want a normal one, and I didn't find it, and that is okay. Because there's other things that I want to install using Bower, because there's stuff on Bower that isn't in a gem. It's kind of simple, really. You're just using one application or the other to bring them in. It's like using Photoshop or Illustrator. Oh, I want a photograph. Well, I'm going to use Photoshop. Oh, I need a vector. I'm going to use Illustrator. Or the modern equivalent, because we're all using different applications these days now that aren't Adobe, because we don't want to pay stuff month after month. I like that. I did a little bit of a slate and then took a sip of my tea. But that's none of my business. Anyway, we're going to amend our commit. So git commit, amend. Ooh. Gonna do a dash. I did mean 2 dashes. Is it like, do I tab or do I hold shift? Yes. Oh, and that shifts me on a few, does it? Okay. Hash 15. And then we escape, colon, WQ, and that's amended it. So let's do git status. Git, I'm just going to do git add dot, because I don't care. Like, I know what's in these files. Oh, goodness me, though. Almost did. Git diff config. Oh, I removed the gems from the config file. I didn't need to force gems upon Jekyll to pull them in, because that was like the Ruby way of doing it. It was basically saying, Jekyll, use these other gems. Pull them in from my machine or wherever vicinity they are. No, we don't need to do that anymore, because they're just SAS files now that have mix-ins that we can magically use. And that's the end of that matter. Yes, let me double check that we did actually remove those. Doo-dee-doo. And we did, yes. And just to make sure as well, in here there should be just this. What a beautiful clean CSS file. Probably could compress it, but yes, we just have our essentials. So Jekyll is working properly and is ignoring all the files that we need to be excluding. Okay, so quit that and we'll do git commit config, and the message is removes gem references. Done. So git status again, and we're going to do git add the lot. Git status. Look at all those files. So I'm going to do a more kind of generalized commit. Reconfigures SAS files and directories into the correct format and location with the aid of gems. These gem installations will need documenting. And shall we do it? Shall we put closes hash 15? Because it could close this. This could be the commit that ends it all. Well, we didn't do that, but we did do this. So, okay. And I ticked these off today as well, because we switched the dependencies over and we catered the gem file, so we just need to tick that off. And there's just one thing to tick off on here, but I'm going to put closes. Closes hash 15. But it probably won't close it because it's not the master branch. Git status once more, and git push. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a git pull, because I did upload a video. I got episode 9 up there. I need to put episode 10, and I will probably do that in this video, just to kind of flex it a bit, get it back into conformity where we're back on the master branch and we're just pushing over, or we're doing pull requests over to GitHub pages. So what I'm going to do is going to do git pull origin master. So that's going to pull over the changes from the master branch and merge them in. So then when we do a pull request to the master, it's not so painful. Okay, it's up to date. Okay, well, that's fine then. So we'll do git push. That's pushed it to that. So now we can then we can make sure this is referenced correctly. It's got those there. Cool. What's the little eye? What's the little eye icon? This issue will close once commit is merged with the master branch. Yes, that's how we want it. So you can do that. So you can put closes, and I guess that appears in the commit history for the master. So then when you merge somebody's change, so say somebody created an issue where they wanted to add a load of features to your project. They did it, and then on the last commit, they'd say closes #15, and then they could submit it as a pull request. And then once you've ironed out the creases of that pull request and accepted it and merged it into the master, it then closes it. So it's the kind of, you can kind of see why people do it this way, why people set up issues more of just an issue tracking system, or a bug tracking system, I should say, to explain more, is more of a features list and to-dos and things like that, which I want to get onto, because there's lots of things that you could use with just the features of GitHub and hooking into it, or using other things that hook into it. Anyway, we need to do a pull request. So the base is master, and our branch is this. Another quick drink. It's getting cold. Oops, sorry, I tapped the microphone then. Haven't done that before. Package managers revision. So what do we got? We've got this massive locked gem file thing going on in here. And I believe if I check the bundler website, I've got it still open. It says add both. I guess that's necessary. We'll have to look at it as though this first file here is our Bower file, and then this file here is our npm file. Shall we say for now that's kind of what it is, kind of? And then we've ignored our gem files, and then we've updated everything. Things have updated since pulling this in, so I guess it's seeing the differences between the different versions of bitters and bourbon and stuff, which is interesting. It's like, oh, it's optimized legibility there, fixed character spacing for headings. Yeah. I've done that, and we've got some extra variables in here, light yellow, things like that. Success messages. Oh, it's gonna just go on and on and on. Any red patches? There we are. There we go. Removed a few other helpful packaging tools. So the synopsis of this is really a bit more of a conclusion. This branch was for resolving the issue between which package managers to use with what package. The end conclusion was to use the packaging system that was right for that particular package or or component. If bourbon was designed to be used as a gem, then it should probably be used as a gem. The same goes for JS components like the HTML5 shiv, which was designed to be used with Bower. So yeah, that's it. And I'm going to put in bold here. Use the right tools for the right. Use the right tools. Use the right assets with the right tools. Don't try to be clever. And that is it. That is it. That I would say to you, I would say, you know, if you want to use bourbon, use it as a gem. There's no harm in using it as gem, as I've discovered. It's all you do is just document it. Just make sure you document it. You could download it like you normally do. Press the download button, fine. But it's kind of cool having in the terminal or the command line those options to update it and pull it down again and go, right, oh, there's some new features, let's keep it up to date. You just have like some extra capabilities of it. It's kind of got a bit more interactivity. And yeah, if it's better for it, then good. And the same goes for NPM, Bower. They really don't really do that much differently to each other. They just do it in a bit of a different way. I kind of like the gem system because you can install like Bower stuff. Sorry, let me start again. I like the gem method because things like bourbon installed without almost any work, and it just plonked it straight into the directory, and it put all the files in the right directory order as well. It got the folder. If you ever look in there, it put everything in the right place. It was just as I want it, and I didn't have to do anything bloody clever in Gulp. Apologies for any of the swearing. Yes, you didn't have to do anything complicated, and that was it. It was in there. And then, you know, then there's the HTML5 shiv, and I could have like worked hard to like find a way to put the HTML5 shiv in there with a gem. I mean, if I quickly look for Ruby gems and then go HTML5 shiv, you know, I want to keep them all as gems. I might as well, you know. We prefer to add gems. So I could put it in there that way. I may even do that. But then what do you do after that? So you got a gem file in there. You could then put it in the thing. I mean, now I'm starting to think maybe I could do it that way. So I may do that after the video, but the reality is it doesn't matter. You can do it either way you like, because in the end the file's going to be there and it's going to be pretty efficient. It's just whichever way you prefer to work, however you want to do it, however you like. And I am going to end the video there on 34 minutes, which is quite nice. I'm going to do this as a pull request, and I'm going to assign as development, and assign it to myself. And we're going to merge the pull requests. Boom. And we are going to even delete the branch. Oh no. It's merged in. You know, whatever. It's merged in. It's cool. So now what I might do, just to double check, I'm going to do git checkout master git pull. Boom. And then what I'm going to do, go to our local thing, bring up that command again. Was it bundle exec? I am just pushing up on the keypad to just find it because I'm lazy about typing. Run it. Finds the configuration file, runs the server. Et voila. You know, obviously we took that container out. That's why it's flipped over to the left. That is it. It's fine. And I'm going to push up that change, and then you've got a bit better of a font to look at than Times New Roman. So yes, and in the next video, I will probably start polishing things up a little bit more, get back into a rhythm of normal stuff. That was an exploration and a half, and I thank you for your patience if you've watched all of these. And comment back. Use the issues to like comment and say what you don't like and what you do like, and reply on YouTube, all that kind of stuff, you know, and tweet me and things. I want to know what you like about it and what you don't like about it, and ask me why I'm doing things, and you know, how do I do this? You can ask me how to do it. I will give you my best answer on how to do it, and I will see you in the next video.